Jed Wonderly with the Utah Sports Report, and as promised, we are back with Mike Lageschulte, former Iowa Hawkeye, current Utah Ute, and we are going to talk about one of my 3 sports that I have seasons tickets to. Not bragging, just, trying to inspire you guys to also do the same, to support our beloved U and the fantastic athletes that are performing on our behalf for our benefit. And that's the Utah Gymnastics, the Red Rocks. And we're going to talk about them right after this.
Receivers stacked to the left, and now Bernard motions back in. Rising, wheel route, end zone, throw, fingertip catch, touchdown! Micah Bernard playing both ways. And Buckeyes with 40 or more in a year.
He could just work on that accuracy a little bit.
Covey didn't run enough, does he? Look at Covey weaving his way. Look out, Britton Covey accelerates. Can they run him down? No, they can't. Britton Covey, yet another house call as a returner. They're going to run a play. Rising with some confusion, just keeps it. And there, he's still got him. Rising breaks free and goes all the way to the end zone. Wow!
Alrighty, we are back and we are talking to the voice of the Red Rocks. We got Mike Lageschulte, and he, if you can't make it to the Huntsman Center and you're going to listen on the radio, this is the guy you're listening to. So, Mike, we've got a key gymnast injured.
Yes.
And I was so disappointed on Friday to see her on crutches. I was hoping that she was making a little more progress and maybe could be back by the end of the year. And there's still a little time between now and nationals, and maybe it's a possibility, maybe it's not. But I talked to my daughter a lot about this. My daughter and my wife are both big fans.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my daughter, and we both love Miley O'Keefe. And we were both bummed that Grace is injured. But one of the things that we both said was that, Miley, she won the national championship, and she's number 1 right now on beam.
Right.
And she's always been fantastic on beam. In fact, last week, she set the record for number of 10s on beam in the program. But oddly enough, she hasn't won the national championship on beam. She won it on floor and on uneven bars. So we know she's really good at 3 events. And my daughter and I are like, try her on vault. I'm sure she'll do well. And last week she got a 9.85 with her first vault, but yet she won the all-around with a 39.75. Had that 10. She's amazing to watch on beam.
Yes.
And everybody else on our team stepped up.
Yeah.
We were throwing out scores that most teams would be going, that would be our highest or second highest score on this event.
Yeah.
We were amazing. The only team more amazing is Oklahoma last Friday. They beat us by .025. Otherwise, we would have had the highest score in the nation at 198.55.
Yep.
And it's like, so Miley is key, but we have a whole lot of other people who are also key. So give me your, from the insider who does the broadcasting, tell me all about everything that we need to expect going forward.
Well, to have Grace on crutches Friday, she's right on track for what they were planning. Now, they feared at first torn ACL. It's not that.
That's what I feared too.
It's not that.
Thankfully, it's not that.
Hyperextended knee. They got to get the hamstring calmed down a little bit, but they're hopeful there might be a chance for her to come back for postseason. Maybe not all 4 events, probably not, but a chance to get her back.
Maybe not the vault, which is what did it to her.
Right, yeah, stay away from that. But it's too bad because, she was at the Tokyo Olympics and then had that tour with the Olympics team. and didn't get on campus till late last fall. She had to squeeze in about 3 months of preseason into 1 month, and had a very nice year last year, but just wasn't comfortable. She wasn't into her routine. She's a very routine-driven person, and finally this year we were seeing the real Grace McCallum. She was relaxed, having fun. She's kind of on her wolf terms on, beam to the judges to make sure they don't miss any.
Right. I love it.
You saw Grace really become the Grace that we knew she could be because she was relaxed, and then the injury happens. But the good news is they've had some depth, which is good, and COVID's helped out with that. But, Kendall Robarts-Pond and myself meet with Tom Farden every week, and he goes, you know what, we're deep, we're fine. And with Miley O'Keefe, she went all around a lot early in her career. Last few years, they tried to pace gymnasts out as the years wear on, and they're like, we don't need her for all around in January. We need her for all around in March and April. Last year went all around all 5 postseason meets, and that was the plan again this year. But when Grace went down, Tom's like, you know what? We're going to get her started a little bit earlier. We've got McKenna Smith, a dynamite freshman who was going 3 events, was capable of going on beam. Now she's like a 9+ score on beam as well. She's going all around. You've got some other ones you can plug in for an event here or there. Abby Brenner from Michigan has been someone who's picked it up. Sage Thompson back on bars. So the depth now.
Yeah, Sage is out, I think nursing an injury or something, right?
She was out for a bit. Just had a rough start to the year, but looked like the Sage Thompson of last year. This past
Who
meet.
did get a 10 last year on even bars.
So we know what she's capable of.
Yes.
But their depth is really coming through. So I think they can just kind of get through the next few weeks, get through the meet this week against Arizona, against Oregon State, maybe by Pac-12s. Grace is back. If not, then beyond that, hopefully. But they've got some depth, and you're so right about Miley O'Keefe. Was ranked number 1 on beam all year a couple years ago. Just had a bad performance at the national semifinals. Otherwise, was like looking primed to win a national championship, but then goes out and win bars and floor that same meet. So, but this year is ranked number 1 again, and she just seems to have that look about her. Get towards the end. You've had this great career, but you want to really finish it out strong. And I saw her Saturday, so I went to the women's basketball game that we just talked about a bit ago on Saturday. Saw her there, saw her family, and talked to her a bit, and she seems to be in a really good place. I think she's enjoying going all around, and you kind of get towards the end of your career, you start to realize I'm down to just a handful of meets left. I think she's going to have a dynamite finish, just has that focus. She's having fun. And then the thing last Friday is the team was having fun, Jed. I mean, they were locked in. They had that good mix of focus, but having a good time. The crowd fed off them and vice versa, and they just threw up a tremendous score. But what a performance to watch last Friday.
So let me give those who maybe aren't super gymnastics fans a little bit of background.
Yeah.
The meet prior to that, which I believe was on Monday.
Yes.
They were terrible as far as Red Rock standards are concerned. And we lost to Arizona State. Not a good meet at all. And I think they were all a little embarrassed. And I think they were like, woe is me, Grace isn't here to, save the day for us and that kind of thing. I don't know. I'm just postulating that perhaps that's hypothesizing.
Grace gets hurt in a meet in Fort Worth. They kind of got through that meet, but I think the Arizona State meet was where it kind of really hit home to them that she's going to be out for a bit.
Right.
And, that score some nights is still good enough to win. ASU's better. It was not that meet, but from what I understand is it was kind of a little bit of a soul-searching type deal. They lost. They've got 6 seniors, and Thomas talked about the leadership of this team since fall. The seniors kind of just said, listen, this is not who we are. We have a standard here. We have people who are capable without Grace. We're fine. Let's get back home, get back to being who we are, and we saw that happen on Friday.
Right. So you talk about 6 seniors.
Yeah.
And you also, alluded to we have some a little benefit because of COVID because Crystal Issa came back for a COVID year.
Right.
And Crystal's great on a number of events and so much fun to watch. And she's capable of a 10 on the uneven bars and on the beam and solid scores on some other things. And I can't help but ask in my head and when I'm talking to my family, what's the chances of Miley O'Keefe coming back for a COVID year?
I don't know. I have not asked, and
he's going to ask.
But you know what?
We're going to follow.
You kind of plan to see with me the next time I go to the gym. Maybe that's a question to pose.
dig a little.
Yeah.
She may not want to commit yet, but hopefully she'll maybe tip her hat a little bit.
And I hate to get too far ahead of things, especially, mid-season. Hey, you want to come back for one more? Because some gymnasts get their degree and they're like, you know what, I'm good. I've had a great 4 years, whatever it is. I'm ready to move on. Some, it's more of a health thing where their body is just starting to kind of, get a little beaten down a little bit. The fact I talked to Jillian Hoffman at our gymnastics banquet a few weeks ago, and she could come back and said, you know what, I'm done. My shoulders had issues. I've had some other things. I'm just ready to physically be done with the sport of gymnastics. So I know she's done. Miley, I'm not sure, but I get to the gym from time to time to talk to him, and well, I'm on post meet, and I'll try not to put Miley on the spot, but you never know. Yeah.
Well, the other side of that, I get the, hey, my body's had all it can handle kind of thing, or they just want to move on with life. I get all of that, and those are all legit, and you can't fault any of them for it. Us fans, we have our favorites, all the time, and, we don't ever want to see our favorites go. But what I would say with regard to, somebody like Miley is that hopefully she wants to get her master's, work on her master's, and get that paid for her. So, boom, year 5 of gymnastics up at the U.
Yeah, and I haven't asked her what her future plans are. I know Abby Brenner wants to be an AD, and she's here in a graduate program for sports administration. I know what her plans are. Not sure about Miley, but I do know she is academically incredible. She graduated high school a semester early, so she was an elite gymnast and wasn't sure she wanted to go to college, and then kind of thought, you know what, I'm done with elite, I'm going to college, and kind of looked at Utah, and Tom said, you know what, we've got a spot open for you in January if you want to come. But she had, because of her training, all this schoolwork to do. She wasn't even close to being done a semester early, but sat down and figured out, okay, if I do this, I can get done. And was doing homeschooling and still trained enough, but got through school a semester early to get here. So academically, she's very capable. Now, what her long-term goals are, I don't know. I haven't asked her. Another question I haven't gotten to with her. But if someone has some desire that's on the team, I think she would be in that category because I know she is academically very, very at the top level.
Right,
yeah.
right. Fun team to watch. Lots of different personalities, but they all just mesh together so well. And, if you want just some great entertainment, some great athleticism, I can't emphasize enough how much fun the Red Rocks are to see. And when you pull off a meet with a 198.55, anytime you break 198, you're in elite territory. And, it's like the Bulls winning 72 games. You win over 70 games in the NBA. That is extremely elite.
Right.
And that's kind of how 198 plus is in women's gymnastics. And have we ever missed an NCAA tournament?
We have not. We are the only program in the country that has not missed a national championships going back to AIAW.
Not just an NCAA tournament, but national championships.
Yeah.
We have been competing at the end of the year for a national champion. Now, we haven't won since '96, but this is a team that can do it. And if you want to find out how good they are and possibly watch the eventual national champion, you've got to come out and see them in person. There's nothing like it. Come on, there's no football right now, okay? No football. Come out and watch the Red Rocks and watch those Lady Utes. When we host the first and second round in Salt Lake, you won't be upset. Bring your wife, bring your kids, your family, your friends, all that kind of stuff. And then check in with Mike so that he knows you made it. All righty? Hey, Mike, I appreciate your time.
Been great,
and
Jed.
Appreciate your insight. He is going to ask Miley, in a nice way, because I get, they're focused on this season. But hey, Miley, what are your plans after, like, possibly coming back and getting a master's and a 5th season? We'll see what happens. One way or another, we'll find out. And hopefully she comes back because she's definitely one of mine and my family's favorites. Again, appreciate Mike for coming by and joining us on the show. We'll have him back for sure. Talk about some of the other great stuff like the hopeful resurgence of men's basketball and what to expect in football next year, because there's a lot of potential, a lot of promise, and a lot of unknowns. So Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. All good for the YouTube algorithm. And tell your other Utah friends to come and check this out, because we got guys like Mike on the show. Come on. Catch you later.